Good God, when the water meth kicks in. Holy sh! I didn't even get on it. Oh my God.
Sounds like a hell guy. I can't lie.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's another day here at the shop and we've got engines and parts everywhere. And also, the Jag on the lift with no engine. And well, the reason why is because we did some performance work to it and it just didn't quite hold up. So behind me is a new engine for the Jag, and I'm getting ready to install the power pulley on the lower for the supercharger, and then we're going to be putting all the accessories and stuff back on it and then trying to get it back in the car. Obviously this engine is going to have a little bit different treatment than the other because we don't want to repeat. So what are we going to do that's different? We're going to run twin intercoolers on this one, as well as water meth injection, and we're going to take you guys along for the ride while we're installing all this stuff, and we're going to do some test runs in it. So what's more fun than that? But anyway, let's get into it. All right, so it is grind time. In order to install the lower pulley, what we have to do is we have to clearance the part of the oil filter housing, and a lot of people don't like doing that, but if you know what you're doing, you don't cut it too deep, we should be fine. So let's get our eyes on and make some firefly. So what I'm doing is I'm actually testing the fitment of the belt and the pulley while I'm grinding the housing so I don't take too much material off, and I know I've got just enough off for the belt to run with the heat expansion and not have any issues. So that's kind of something you want to keep in mind when you do this. You kind of want to build in a little bit of a cushion for some heat expansion. All right, so I got this clearanced. I'm going to show you what I did and how much I had to take off. So I just clearanced that just enough to where I'm not going to get any leaks on that, plus enough to where I can actually just squeak the belt underneath of it and get it to run. So that's all I'm looking for. You know, that way if I ever have to change a belt on it, we're good. So let's go ahead and get this pulley tightened down on here, and then we can start putting some of the accessories on the engine. So we are looking awesome on our fit up with our twin intercooler setup. Basically what I've done, and maybe you guys, if you're going to mod some of these cars and stuff like that, they've got a lot of room up front. So I've taken an intercooler off of another XF and mounted it with two fans in front of the other intercooler that's in it, and we're going to run Y pipes and run twin intercoolers to have more cooling power because of our pulley and stuff that we've already done to the car as far as our mods. Now let me show you what I had to do. So if you look on our intercooler, I had to cut a bracket off right here that holds it on this one, and I had to trim a little bit right here, but that's actually really just minimal trimming in order to have to do this. What I did is I took the clips out in the front and run bolts all the way through to the clips in the back, so that way I've got enough of an intercooler to where I can just put it together and we're all set. Now what I'll do is when I go to run the little cooler for the power steering, is I'll attach it on there and set the car down on it, and then it should fit just absolutely perfect if my measurements are correct, but we're about to find out. So let's go ahead and hook our hoses and everything up on this thing, set it down on there, and make sure this thing's going to fit, and hopefully we have it fired up today. So I'm pretty stoked, and I'm sure you guys want to see that too, so let's get after it. Hey, so we have made some huge progress. I've got my dual intercoolers set up on here. I've already test fitted. It actually fits in the car, which I'm really amazed with, because I was kind of skeptical at first if I could actually get it to fit in there or not. but I've inadvertently doubled my cooling capacity, and then once the water meth's on there, this car should be making a lot better power, a lot cleaner power, and we don't have to worry about any issues with overheat and the efficiency issues with the M112. So let me show you what I did. All right, so we're going to start off over here. So I've got a Y pipe that comes off of our main, comes into this and goes into both intercoolers. I had to trim a little bit right there. No big deal, it happens. Over here, same situation. We've got a Y pipe for our air bleed, so I can still bleed the air. I've got, well, it's kind of a weird setup, but I actually had to come off the line that was down there, come up into a T, and this T feeds these two intercoolers here, and then down on the bottom, I run a Y pipe and into the high performance pump, so that way we've got double the cooling power and double the efficiency. Yeah, so now we're going to set the body back down on this, make sure it all fits, and then the engine's in the car. So let's go ahead and do that, and I will show you what we got else. Well, I should say what else we got to do on the water meth setup after we get the engine pretty well installed in the car. So let's get back to it.
All right, here we go. The moment of truth. And it all fits. It fits the way I had wanted it to. We got all this stuff contained. So if you ever have to pull the engine, it's all together. So there we have it.
One of the easy solution for supercharged engines when upgrading: water meth. That's right. So we put some water meth on this car, and wow, did it make a difference. So some of you are probably wondering, what is water meth exactly? So water meth is a 50-50 mix, or in some cases, some companies do a 49-51% mix of water and methanol. What that does is it's sprayed into the engine, and that helps keep your boost temperatures cooler, so your supercharger runs more efficient, and you get the keyword more power. So let's dive into this. Hey, what's up everybody? So we are finally at the finishing stages of installing the Snow water methanol kit on the car. What I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to go ahead and install the nozzle right here, so that way it's ready to go. And then we will go through and I'll show you what else I've had to do, all the wiring. We've got our hose up here absolutely ready. So now all I gotta do is just get this thing cut, and we know where we're at. All right, so I've got the holes drilled. It was a 5/16 inch hole. Now I'm just threading the nozzle in, and we should be almost ready here very shortly. Now I'm going to take this nozzle in a little bit, and I'm going to kind of put it over to the side, so that way my hose will fit right. And then we look, we've got enough of the nozzle protruding in there. It should work out just fine. All right, now time to get everything going back on.
So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a pain to get it back in here, but you know, it's just part of it because I'm using different silicone connectors that actually has a little bit better sealing power. So sometimes you got to kind of fight with it, but just part of it. Obviously that and the intake Y pipe and the runners and everything I actually made for the car.
So to continue going over our setup for the water meth, I mounted my reservoir back here in the trunk. I made some brackets that kind of go back in here and hold it in place so it's good and sturdy. Then I plumbed everything down through the trunk well here. I'll show you real quick. I'm hoping you guys can see this. Oh, this is what I use on my setup. I like the VP speed sauce. Some of you may use boost juice, but either way, this is pretty much the same stuff. This is actually a 50-50 mix, and we are a VP dealer, so that's why I use it, because I can get it fairly easily and it's readily available whenever I need it. So my setup, okay, so we'll get down in here. I hope you can see it. Let's pull this light. So I've got everything down here in the trunk. I tried to make it as neat as I possibly could, but I've got everything plumbed down to the pump, and then that goes down through. And yes, I did seal everything in the you know, spare tire well here to make sure it's all good. But that's where I located it. I think it looks good. It's out of the way, and honestly, you know, if you need to, just boom, it's completely gone. So that's kind of why I did that. But you know, that's my setup on this. Now, like I said, to me, I'm gonna prime it up a couple, 3 times.
Right.
All right. All right, so here it is. We've got the car back together. It's running. We've got the water meth installed. So we're going to take it up the highway and do a little soft cruise, just see how it does. Oh, I missed this car. Yeah, I mean, obviously we got to get in alignment where we had the engine out and stuff, but I mean, once we get that done, this car is cherry once again. Good wash job, and we're all set.
Can't drive till the alignment's done.
Yeah, I mean, you could, it's just a little off.
A little off.
Yeah. Okay, so that was interesting. Obviously, we have an empty bay, which means the car has gone to the alignment shop and they're going to fix our issue to where we're kind of driving sideways right now. But that was to be expected. I've had to do it every time we pull the engine in that car, because the cradle comes down with it, things shift, and it never goes back perfectly. I don't care if you mark it, it never is the same, and you'll have a little bit of difference on your steering wheel, so they have to go on and do a full wheel alignment, set everything straight again. And that's what they're gonna do. We should have the car back here probably tomorrow. Then we're gonna pull it in and we're gonna do a transmission service. Not gonna do it in this video because we don't have enough time, but the next video, it's gonna be about the transmission service, and we're going to get that done and be able to actually drive the car, because I know I would feel so much better if I knew the car was 100%, because I know we lost some fluid. I know the fluid was kind of dirty, so even though we had done it earlier, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm gonna go ahead and change it and make sure that the car is ready to go, because yeah, I'm probably gonna be beating on the car a little bit, and that's the last thing I need is for the transmission to blow up in it, and then we have to go through and do all this all over again, except for, you know, the engine stuff. So, but for now, thanks for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and you catch us in the next video when we get this thing finished up.